New cities are going up all over the world to combat the overpopulation of our already famous metropolises. However, things aren't going quite to plan. Many have turned into abandoned towns and ghost cities that cost billions. High real estate prices, bankruptcy, and mysteries abound in these strange, apocalyptic cities. From an abandoned town of many castles to one of the world's strangest super cities, these are some of the most expensive cities that have yet to reach their potential. Ashgabat, Turkmenistan's City of the Dead. Let's begin with Ashgabat, the capital of Turkmenistan. It was extensively rebuilt under the rule of Saparmurat Niyazov in a goal to create an opulent, white city. But it's earned itself a very different nickname, the City of the Dead. Ashgabat started out breaking records. It's the city with the highest density of white marble on Earth. It also has the world's largest indoor Ferris wheel, the largest mural of a star, and the largest fountain. However, this ambitious city was not very smartly built. Located smack dab in the middle of the desert, the city is known to get blisteringly hot. It was once called the Garden City, but the renewal project destroyed almost all the city's perennial trees in exchange for coniferous trees unsuited to a dry climate and offering little to no shade. The irrigation system of canals that created the city's microclimate was also destroyed. Even its focus on white marble backfired. The white buildings bounced the sun back at citizens and visitors, blinding them during peaks of sunlight. In addition, many historical monuments were destroyed and houses demolished in the path to creating this revamped city. Turkmenistan negotiated to host the Asian Indoor and Martial Arts Games and spent $5 billion creating an Olympic village. That money went toward a monorail system that visitors say is confusing, as well as an airport shaped like a giant bird. Instead of attracting tourists to explore arts and culture, the city generally only receives daring tourists looking for a risky place to visit. Once inside Ashgabat, it's illegal to leave the city limits. Burj al-Babas, Turkey's castle town. Burj al-Babas in Turkey suffered a similar fate to Ashgabat. The $200 million project started out with a promising dream of creating a luxurious castle town that would attract wealthy foreigners. They would live in an oasis that offered European luxury in the Middle East. Sarat Group, the project developer, had an appealing location in mind for their project. It's located in the spa town of Merdinu, known for hot springs and healing waters. Each of the villas in Castletown would follow this aesthetic, with underfloor heating and jacuzzis on every level. More than 700 multi-story castles were completed along winding roads in the area, featuring ornate Gothic architecture. Most of them were sold by 2019 for anywhere between $370,000 and $500,000. The fairy tale village seemed well on its way to becoming a reality. But by 2019, everything was going wrong. Turkey's economy dried up, the developers were forced to declare bankruptcy, and locals became furious that the homes didn't share the area's traditional architecture. They were also mad about the company destroying trees and harming the environment. A lawsuit was filed, and the developers ended up being $27 million in debt. Now Burj al-Babas is nothing more than an abandoned dream, a village made up of half-finished mini castles that are completely unlivable. It looks like a fairy tale gone horribly wrong. Tianducheng, China's mini Paris. Speaking of straying from traditional architecture, China had their own idea for a dreamlike mini-city, and they decided to base it off an already well-known tourist hotspot. In the city of Tianducheng, China built their own scaled-down version of Paris in the hopes of convincing people to abandon the nearby modern metropolis of Shanghai. They started construction in 2007, beginning with features like a 1:3 scale replica of the Eiffel Tower and a recreation of the Luxembourg Garden Fountain. The city is full of recreated Parisian architecture, like the famed Champs-Élysées. There are manicured hedges and picturesque fountains. The only thing missing from the city are citizens and tourists. Instead of a bustling Chinese version of Paris, the city is filled with abandoned skyscrapers and apartment buildings in a barren landscape. Original plans hoped for a city of 10,000, but today, Tianducheng has only reached about 10% of that goal. Many streets are left empty, shop fronts are boarded up, and the fountains often run dry. High real estate prices and an odd location have kept visitors from truly enjoying mini Paris. It's surrounded by farmland and about an hour away from the closest city. The skies are often gray with pollution. Yet, new buildings are still under construction. Will China's Paris replica ever reach its potential? It's possible, but other than a few scattered trips for wedding photos, the inspired city remains a ghost town for now. Yujiapu and Shangluan, China's empty cities. A mini Paris wasn't China's only idea for attracting citizens away from overcrowded cities with a place reminiscent of an international metropolis. They also tried their hand at creating China's Manhattan. These are the financial and business districts of Yujiapu and Xiangluan. They are full of modern skyscrapers, neon signs, brightly lit roads, but no people. Yujiapu opened in 2009 as a large-scale financial area that would act as the economic center of northern China. Construction on Xiangluan, just across the river from Yujiapu, began in 2007, with the hopes that it would be a hotspot for the central government to build their offices, headquarters, and research centers. But business isn't taking off. The rate of unoccupied Grade A offices in Tianducheng is almost 37%. And the 54-story Huaxia Financial Center in Yujiapu has just 23 tenants. Tianjin's economic difficulties over the last few years can be blamed for these cities having trouble taking off. Yujiapu sees a daily average of 100,000 people working and living there, so it's not completely abandoned. But it sure feels like it is when skyscrapers tower over mostly empty streets. Low rents are slowly attracting people, so maybe China's Manhattan can still reach its potential one day, when people have no choice but to migrate out of the vibrant cities they prefer. Forest City, Malaysia's abandoned city. If we head over to Malaysia, we can visit a luxurious development project that cost $100 billion. This is Forest City, a gigantic modern metropolis teeming with opulence and wealth. The development was built by Country Garden, China's largest property developer. It takes up 4,300 acres of land, which is 4 times the size of Monaco. It's meant to be home to 700,000 citizens. Forest City has it all: luxury apartment buildings, resorts, an international school, high-end malls, and man-made beaches. It's been 6 years since Forest City began development, and it's home to less than 5% of its expected number of residents. It turns out that prices here are just way too high. In 2017, apartments started at $170,000, but today, condos go for as much as $1.14 million, while the average for similar apartments in surrounding areas is just $141,000. Forest City is also pretty remote. That would be fine if the city was bustling with commercial activity, but it isn't, due to a lack of businesses and residents. There are other downsides to life in Forest City, like signs warning visitors not to swim in the water, a high alcohol tax, and plenty of litter. Now the city resembles an empty movie set instead of the futuristic metropolis it was meant to be. Naypyidaw, Myanmar's ghost city. The final stop on our tour of abandoned towns is Naypyidaw, Myanmar's aptly named ghost city. Naypyidaw is a super city, extending a whopping 1,850 square miles, which is about 6 times the size of New York City. There are massive 20-lane highways, meticulously landscaped grounds, and pastel-colored hotels and shopping malls. There isn't a lack of things to do here. There are golf courses, a safari park, a zoo, and many forms of entertainment. The only thing the city is missing is people to enjoy these activities. Launched as Burma's new capital in November 2005, it's rumored to have cost as much as $4 billion to build, which is a lot for a relatively poor country. There are mysteries surrounding how many people actually live here. Perhaps calling it Mystery City is just as accurate as Ghost City. Officially, the city's population is 1 million. But the empty streets make many doubt this number. There are also rumors of a vast network of tunnels under the city, and people have been imprisoned just for taking unsanctioned photos here. The city's highway has also been plagued by reports of fatal accidents, even though it's mostly empty. It's earned the nickname Death Highway. Is Myanmar's ghost city cursed? Perhaps. And we're not going to travel there to find out. But we're curious, would you be a daring traveler and visit any of these ghost cities? Which one would you like to head to first? Let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe while you're here for more of the world's most mysterious megaprojects. And we'll see you next time.